Did you know that one of the biggest challenges Quora users face is getting their answers noticed? Most people write tons of answers on Quora and don't get any views. But what if you could write answers that people actually read and share? Hi, my name is Jonathan Nunez. I am the CEO and the co-founder of the Marketing Project. I've been writing Quora answers since 2019, and in that time, I've written over 2,000 answers, and my answers have consistently received millions of views. So today, I'll share with you 6 things you can do right now to improve your Quora answers to get more views. But before we do that, we need to thank our sponsor, the Marketing Project. We're an agency that specializes in Q&A marketing, so if you want to use Quora for lead generation and prospect nurturing, check us out. We offer services like profile optimization, market research, content repurposing, and full service of writing Quora answers. If you're interested, the link's in the description. And with that out of the way, let's improve your Quora answers. Alright, the first thing you need to do to improve your Quora answers is to answer the question that was asked. I've said this on other videos, but Quora wants to see answers that are helpful to anyone who wants to know the answer to the question. So unlike on blog posts, where you have an introduction that eases into the main content, Quora is more direct. On Quora, you need to get into the meat of the content right away. Quora is like an in-between a social media post and a blog post. It's like a social media post because it's more informal and it's to the point. And a blog post because you have to delve deeper into the topic, so avoid wasting time and answer the question right away. The next thing you should do is provide knowledge that is reusable by anyone interested in the question. A good answer has facts and insights that are general and reusable. This means that an answer is not the most helpful if it only helps one person with the specific circumstances that are not listed in the question. In situations like this one, citing your own opinion or view is fine. But if you think that your opinion is the right answer to the question, then you should explain your point of view. The best answers to general questions sometimes cover many different cases with conditions. For example, if you're tall, I recommend X, and if you're short, I recommend Y. Another example of reusable knowledge is creating step-by-step guides. Step-by-steps are perfect for letting people know how to do something, and it can be replicated by anyone who reads your answer. The third thing you should do to improve your answers is to support them with rationale. Helpful answers typically assume that the question is implicitly asking why, even if it doesn't say so in the question. This means that you should include a convincing rationale so that the reader can understand why the answer is correct. For example, see how in this answer, this person immediately addresses the topic of the question and supports it rationally. In this case, by linking to a government website where people can corroborate his point of view. Then he mentions how it's not a ripoff by sharing how the company keeps funds safe. And lastly, he links to the page where they cover all those details. The next thing you should do is to demonstrate credibility and to be factually correct. Answers can demonstrate credibility in a number of ways. For example, you can provide reliable resources, or you can list good examples and explain why you have the expertise or the first-hand experience in the subject. Ideally, writers should indicate why they're qualified to answer the question. See how Pioneer does it. First of all, the question is about how to cash out CSGO skins into a Pioneer account. The question is literally about them. So who is more qualified to answer a question about how to do something on Pioneer's platform than themselves? Secondly, Pioneer links to pages where you can find instructions on how to do the same process depending on the service you're using. This immediately shows that the information they're sharing is factually correct. The fifth thing you should do is to make sure your answer is clear and is easy to read. One big problem we see all the time is people who write very long paragraphs with complicated language. Mobile traffic makes up 3/4 of Quora visits, so imagine trying to read giant blocks of text on your phone. It's not a great experience. Instead, make sure your answers are broken down into short paragraphs. Use 2 or 3 sentences and then break it up into the next section. And the last thing you should do is to make sure your answers are enjoyable to read. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is writing only text. When we read for long periods of time, our eyes get fatigued. So we need to add other forms of stimulus that don't require us to focus so much on the small letters. For example, see how I do it in this answer. I use short paragraphs to make it easy to read. I use bolded text to make sure that people who want to skim the answer are able to understand it without having to read everything. I use images to show what I'm talking about. I use bullet points to list important information, and I provide links to resources I talk about in the answer. All of these things combined make it for a much better experience as a result, and this answer has gotten over 4 million views. Alright, now you know exactly what you need to do to improve your Quora answers. So if you do them all, I guarantee your answers will perform much better and you will get more views. Now, before you go, watch this video right here because YouTube thinks you'll love it.